What's up everybody, Ryan here, Tides on Earth. Today we're going to talk about why I just sold my Fender Acoustasonic Telecaster. Let's get into it. So I should give you a little backstory real quick. I was playing a PRS SE Custom 24. As you can see in the background here, I'm mostly an acoustic player, but I did want to expand on my tones. From my other videos, you'll know that I do a fair bit of looping. I'm a huge fan of the Headrush looper board, and I've been using that for gigging for the last little while, and it's been an amazing setup for me. So when I saw the Fender Acoustasonic Telecaster come out, I got super excited and basically schemed a way to get one into my possession to be able to start gigging with it. And that required me to sell my PRS SE Custom 24 in doing so. And I'm not the type of person that has a ton of guitars. I've got an acoustic, an electric, and a ukulele. And so picking up an Acoustasonic Telecaster meant I was going to have to sell my PRS, which at the time I thought was going to be the right move for me. And I loved the tonal possibilities of the PRS, but I also was really intrigued by this idea of this blade switch to be able to kick in an electric tone or flip back to an acoustic tone or flip into getting percussive tones on the front of the guitar. These were all things that I was already doing a lot with my acoustic, and I thought to be able to take an acoustic and an electric, put it into one instrument, this was going to be pretty life-changing and a pretty great upgrade for me in my music. So why did I sell it? The one concern I had when I bought the Acoustasonic Telecaster was that it only gave me a bridge pickup, and that I was losing the neck pickup and the tonal possibilities that say, I mean, I'm referring to a PRS in this case, but you know, that a number of other electric guitars does. The truth is I've just been missing the potential for other sounds. And for myself, if you're like me, and you know, buying one instrument means selling another, you know, it ultimately ended up becoming too much for me to, the things that instrument was lacking was too much. Now, I should say also, there was some amazing things about the Acoustasonic Telecaster. For one, being someone with, I've had shoulder surgery on my right shoulder, and I was going through a bit of a tough time in the spring and into early summer. And that Acoustasonic Telecaster, if you're someone with an injury or a bad shoulder, that is a game-changing instrument. It is so light. The tonal potential of that instrument is outstanding, and you really can't go wrong with that instrument in that sense. I went from being able to play for maybe 15-20 minutes on my acoustic, given the fact that I had to get my shoulder over the deep body of it, or the electric, again, probably maybe 15 minutes most, because of the weight of the electric. I had to put them down, to playing 3-hour sets with the Acoustasonic Telecaster. It was a huge improvement for me to be able to play longer stretches, doing acoustic songs, doing electric songs, and that was a really amazing thing. My friend Reverend Doctor, who has a really great channel as well, talked about maybe in the future we'll see Fender come out with the ability to customize the tones that instrument offers. So I know there's, you know, the 5-way switch, and you've got this mod knob that gives you an A or a B, and you can dial in between them. I know he hoped that down the road we would see the potential where you could customize maybe not only just where those tones sit. So for example, if you had you know, the Dreadnought, like a D18 sitting in you know, 5A for example, and you had another tone that you really liked that was in, say, 3B, not only did you have to flip the 5-way switch from 5 to 3, but then you also had to rotate this mod knob to hit to get from A to B. and to be able to set up all of your tones, you know, everything like all your A's could be aligned for, you know, a set, and all your B tones could be aligned for a set. So that's one possibility, to be able to move them around within the guitar based on the app and the USB plugin that that guitar has. And secondly, for Fender to create a tonal library would be a really, really amazing thing. So ultimately it came down to there was a number of tones that I was missing in that instrument, and for myself it just became, I was missing it too much, and it was too much money into an instrument for me to not be satisfied with the tones of it. I'm talking a lot about obviously the electric tones, and while the acoustic variations were great, you know, I think other people have said this before, but if you're sitting with an acoustic that's, you know, a higher end acoustic, chances are that Fender's probably not going to, you know, not going to stand up to that other acoustic. And that was the case with me. The bar that the Acoustasonic had to measure up against with my acoustic was a really, really high bar. There was, you know, it was a tough competition for that instrument to meet. Here I've got a Cole Clark Angel 2. It's the Redwood Rosewood edition. Really, really rich, really, really warm tones in this instrument. And while the Acoustasonic gave you a grand auditorium, various dreadnoughts with different tonal woods, Brazilian rosewood with the percussive, adding in the acoustic and the electric tones, and then like sort of true telly sounds, both clean and a little bit driven. When I was playing acoustically on that instrument, or I shouldn't say acoustically because that would imply that it's not actually plugged in. When I was plugged in but getting those acoustic tones, I should say, I was still feeling like it wasn't measuring up to what was possible in this instrument. But as with anything, the more things something tries to do, in my opinion, the less well each of those things are done, you know, individually. So it's asking a lot to find an instrument that does all of these things. I will say, having owned a Godin XTSA, which did, you know, some acoustic tones, some electric tones, I believe that the Fender Acoustasonic Telecaster has been the best version of that so far. I think it does it better than any other instrument. You know, the Taylor T5 got a lot of comparisons, but I do believe that it was probably the best iteration of it so far in terms of an instrument that's trying to do both. Anyway, so that is why I ended up selling my Acoustasonic Telecaster. I am on the verge of considering what my next instrument is. I'm going to do a little bit more research this time. Definitely thinking about going back to a PRS. The tonal capabilities, the price point, you cannot go wrong. And as I say, I am predominantly an acoustic guitar player. Electric comes in for a couple songs, you know, to add some variety to my set, or to change it up, or even for writing, just to get a different sound, to get me inspired in a different way. So, you know, maybe at some point I'll be in a position to spend, you know, $2,000, $3,000, you know, $4,000 on an electric. This acoustic, you know, I think they were in Canada, they were about $3,000, and I managed to get this one for about $2,200. But that's where my heart is, in an acoustic instrument. So maybe down the road, you know, I'll venture into expanding the collection. But at this point in my life, being a gigging musician, trying to do what I'm doing here, you know, wanting to buy another instrument means I'm selling something. So if you're like me, then you know, that's something worth considering. If a neck pickup is something that's really, really important to you, then that has to be a consideration. If you love the tones that a bridge pickup gives you, and you're all about a telly, and you want to have that acoustic, that, you know, definitely believable, you know, dreadnought sound, or, you know, those other acoustics that it offers, it's an amazing instrument. And I can't stress enough, if you're dealing with a shoulder injury or, you know, a bad back. Seems like a lot of musicians deal with bad shoulders, and I don't think this instrument has been pitched nearly enough to people that struggle with some sort of injury. It's light, it's comfortable, it sounds great. I mean, it sounds great even unplugged, I was impressed with. So I can't speak really too poorly of the instrument. It wasn't like when I bought it, it unveiled something that I didn't expect. I think for myself, it was something that I had to discover for myself, that I really do value a variety of electric tones. And when this instrument couldn't give me that that variety, then that was on me. So great job, Fender. It didn't fit me at this point. I know a while back I was doing some videos on the Headrush Looper board, and I do intend to carry on with those videos. We did just move. I was living in Toronto. We just moved out to Calgary, Alberta. And now that we're here, as you can see, I've got a little bit of a setup going on here, and we're going to start getting some videos back out to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, obviously give us a quick like and a subscribe. Really helps me. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, whether it's about this or something else you want me to review. There's lots of stuff coming for the Headrush Looper board, and more videos relating to being a gigging musician, starting in a new town, getting yourself established, creating a name for yourself. These various steps are all things that we need to think about. And yeah, thank you so much. We'll see you guys in the next one.